India hit back hard at Pakistan after Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's Kashmir rant at the UN. India's spokesperson for the Ministry of External Affairs made it very clear that the Kashmir issue remains unresolved because Pakistan continues to foment trouble across the line of control, continues to send terrorists into India and is not seeking a solution. Demilitarization of Kashmir is not the issue. De-terrorization of Pakistan is the need of the hour, India insisted.
We propose that Pakistan and India reaffirm that they will not resort to the use or the threat of use of force under any circumstances. This is a central element of the UN Charter. Steps must be taken to demilitarize Kashmir. 4. Agree to an unconditional mutual withdrawal from Siachen Glacier, the world's highest battleground. Muslims are suffering across the world. Palestinians and Kashmiris oppressed by foreign occupation, persecuted minorities, and the discrimination against Muslim refugees fleeing persecution or war. The international community must redress these injustices against the Muslim people. Cooperation, not confrontation, should define our relationship. Yet today, ceasefire violations along the line of control and the working boundary are intensifying, causing civilian deaths, including women and children. Wisdom dictates that our immediate neighbor refrains from fomenting instability in Pakistan. Pakistan is a primary victim of terrorism. We have lost thousands of lives, including civilians and soldiers, to terrorist violence. The blood that has been shed, including that of our innocent children, has reinforced our resolve to eliminate this scourge from our society.
Pakistan's Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif's Kashmir rant on the floor of the UN General Assembly, is that good for peace between India and Pakistan? You also saw India's swift response to that. Joining me on the broadcast is Major General Athar Abbas. General Abbas was with Pakistan Army at the ISPR. Also with me is Ambassador G. Parthasarathi, India's former High Commissioner to Pakistan. Ambassador Parthasarathi, first question, you heard Nawaz Sharif's 4 points at the UN. What do they mean? Is this a peace initiative? Demilitarize Kashmir, get out of Siachen, nuclear CBMs that he's suggesting?
Look, I have been observing this since 1965, when Ayub said he would keep this alive in the UN. Of course, that ended with the signing of the Simla Agreement, but this...
Tashkent and then Simla in 71.
Tashkent was neither here nor there, but certainly Simla. And thereafter, this is a yearly drama which Pakistan stages in the UN. I don't take it seriously. But as for Nawaz's 4-point proposals, let me go step by step. His first proposal is to formalize the 2003 understanding on a ceasefire and to have the UN monitoring group to monitor it. Now, I entirely agree that 2003 ceasefire should be respected, but he conveniently forgets that that ceasefire worked, because in 2004, General Musharraf, who was then the boss of General Athar Abbas, gave a written undertaking that territory under Pakistan's control would not be used for terrorism against India. So that is point number one.
Let me get General Abbas to respond to point number one, and we'll take this point by point. General Abbas, the annual Kashmir rant at UN, what do you hope to achieve? Isn't it a slap in the face of Pakistan year after year? when the UN refuses to address this and says this is a bilateral issue?
It's 50 years now.
Yeah, it's a bilateral issue. Sort it out amongst each other. Sort it out with each other. General Abbas?
That may be your interpretation of your side. It remains on the agenda of the UN. The UN has not taken it out from its agenda. If we are talking about the first point of Mr. Nawaz Sharif, what he has suggested is to formalize what we decided and agreed upon in 2003, one. And second, look, you need to have a third empire when the two sides are not ready to really compromise or agree upon their own empire. So you need to have somebody which should monitor who is a violator. Otherwise, it will always be, as far as ceasefire violations, LOC is concerned, will be your word against mine, my word against yours.
No,
there
but tell me this. You were with General Musharraf, and General Musharraf promised India, the year was 2004, January was the month, that Pakistani soil will not be used for terror against India. What happened in 2006? You sent in terrorists. What happened in 2008? You sent in terrorists again. So can India not trust a civilian leader like Nawaz Sharif because after Lahore he does a Kargil? Nor can we trust a military leader that you say you will not let your soil be used for terror against India, and yet there is a 26/11?
We'll end up blaming each other, but try and understand that Pakistan and Pakistan Army is fighting all these groups within our own soil. And there has been much more damage to Pakistan and the people of Pakistan than what has happened in India.
Why should I care if you are dying of your own terror? I care about your country sending terrorists to my country, sir. What action have you taken against the likes of Hafiz Mohammed Saeed or Dawood Ibrahim or Masood Azhar? Sir, you've been in the army. You know the inside story. Put your hand on your heart. Put your hand on your heart and tell me if you have addressed India-centric terror.
If it has come to that you don't care what happens to Pakistan and Pakistani, then also the response would be the same. We don't care till the time we finish what is happening to us. What is affecting us, what is damaging us, what is killing us. First we have to go after that. And once we have finished that, only then we will look for another thing.
Is that a fair response?
Let me answer both the points of General Attar Abbas, who very soberly and always correctly puts their point of view. He talks of the UN monitoring group. The UN monitoring group was set up to monitor the ceasefire. In Simla, the ceasefire line went into history, and it was replaced a line of control which was bilaterally determined in Simla between India and Pakistan. So the UN monitoring group was not set up to monitor the line of control, and we will never agree to it, period. Point number two, that he says Pakistan has serious problems. Look, the fact of the matter is, it is not just Pakistan, India which is accusing Pakistan. The very terrorists the Taliban, who attacked that school in that horrible tragedy, which I condemn. The fact of the matter is, if you read all the writings of Ahmed Rashid, don't read me, read the way the ISI trained the Taliban. They are paying for their sins.
Yes.
They trained the Jaish-e-Mohammed, and the Jaish-e-Mohammed attempted to kill Musharraf. And this was acknowledged by General Ashraf Qazi in the National Assembly. So I think they should do a bit of soul searching. It's not India. It is the United States who tells Pakistan, shut down your Haqqani network, shut down your Lashkar-e-Taiba, shut down your Jaish-e-Mohammed.
Why is that not happening, General Abbas? You've been a soldier. Speak from the heart, sir. Why is there no crackdown on either the Haqqani network or the Lashkar-e-Taiba, General?
First, let me reply to Mr. Pathasati. If he says that ceasefire line has been converted into LOC and there is no need and India doesn't accept, has UN stopped or packed up or rolled off its United Nations military observers group in India and Pakistan, they are still there. 300 of them are there. And they do keep coming to LOC and keep noting the violations from this side or that side. Second, let me tell you, if US says it cannot be taken as gospel truth, if they disregard and omit PTP, which has played havoc in Pakistan, and it is the lead terrorist group which Pakistan is going after, if they decided and elect and do the cherry picking by naming all other organizations and not TTP, how do you expect Pakistan to respond?
It's not the US alone. The United Arab Emirates has said so.
And
not
everybody
to
saying,
speak of a large number of other countries. Look, General, I respect your restraint, but please acknowledge, Pakistan is recognized as the epicenter of global terrorism. That's why you have the Americans in Afghanistan.
Your Prime Minister at the UN said Pakistan is a victim of terror. You may well be. But as India says and as the world says, you're also a state sponsor of terror, and that is something you're doing nothing to address. When you talk about Kashmir, General, isn't this ironical? Isn't this ironical? General Abbas, kindly hear me, sir. The day Nawaz Sharif raises the issue of Kashmiris at the UN, there are people in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir who are on the streets of Kotli, of Muzaffarabad, in the northern areas in Gilgit and Baltistan against the Pakistan Army and Pakistan Army rule. Not just there, even outside UN protesting against Nawaz Sharif, sir.
What are you talking about? The whole statement has been appreciated and hailed from various cross-sections of the society here, that Pakistan's Prime Minister has put the case of Pakistan in the UN very forcefully and very with great clarity. It is all appreciated here. And I don't know where from you got the feedback that this has been condemned or the Pakistan Army role. Look, I want to highlight one thing. Not a single Afghan has ever been found in international terrorism. But TTP here has all the linkages with international terrorist organizations.
Ambassador Parthasarathy, is Pakistan...
The threat of IS.
May I say?
The threat of IS is faced by Afghanistan and Pakistan. It is now an international terrorist organization. Now, if we are going...
Sir, Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani has said Pakistan is fomenting trouble. We are no longer brothers. Ambassador Parthasarathy?
May I say something?
Yes.
Pakistan said President Karzai is very anti-Pakistani. President Ashraf Ghani is saying precisely what President Karzai said. This is two successive elected presidents of Afghanistan holding Pakistan squarely responsible. Then everyone knows of the attack on Herat the day Mr. Narendra Modi was being sworn in on our consulate. They were Lashkar-e-Taiba. The Americans and the Afghans have confirmed that. You will continue to deny it, and fair enough. I understand why you have to deny it.
No, but
the fact of the matter is, General, I think you must acknowledge that Pakistan has built up this reputation, rightly or wrongly, of being a state sponsor of terror.
And now, was Nawaz Sharif under the pressure of the other Sharif, General Abbas? Is he under pressure to keep General Raheel Sharif happy, and that is why this Kashmir rant at the UN?
Not at all, not at all. PM, when he took over, the first initiative he took was to go out, reach out to Mr. Narendra Modi there, suggesting that he is there all out to go for peace and development. And this
explain this to me, General Abbas. Why is it? Why is it that both your neighbors hate you? Why is it that both Pakistan's neighbors call you state sponsors of terror, whether it's Afghanistan or India?
Why Mr. Hagel says that India is involved in Afghanistan, through Afghanistan into Balochistan?
No, but that way Hillary Clinton tells you don't keep snakes in your backyard. They will turn around and bite you. Isn't it time for you to wake up, sir?
Why Mr. Hagel, Chuck Hagel?
Isn't it time for Pakistan to wake up? If, as Nawaz Sharif says, you are losing thousands of people to terror, why aren't you waking up to fight terror, whether it's in the frontier province or in Pakistan's Punjab?
Are we waiting to fight the terror, or we are already fighting the terror? We have
very selectively, not the Haqqani network. Not the Haqqani network.
From the tribal areas, they're all out from the our borderland and that. And Pakistan Army has lost over 10,000 soldiers and officers in that. Over 60,000 civilians in that. How do you make out there? How do you respond to that? That we are not fighting the terror?
Ambassador?
May I say it is very selective. The fact of the matter is, as Hillary Clinton says, these snakes are turning around and biting you. It was Hakimullah Masood who said that not too long ago, that he will launch terrorist strikes on India, And I think, if I may say, one of your predecessors, General, pretty much welcomed that.
What should Sushma Swaraj?
I think the point is very clear. Look, we, in fairness to General Musharraf, and I say this to the General Attar Abbas about his boss, the agreement, the undertaking he gave us in 2004, he largely respected.
Except the 2006 attacks in Mumbai still took place.
2006 attack, even it was a mixture of their people and our people. So let's.
But tell me this: Will Nawaz Sharif's rant on Kashmir lead to our relationship going into a deep freeze? No, I want to do a little future, looking into the future.
No, I don't. Look, let me be very, very clear. The fact of the matter is not just us. After all, we talk with the Americans, we talk with the Iranians, we talk to as many people around the world. The general consensus in the world is today that Nawaz Sharif is a lame duck.
Okay.
He is capable of delivering nothing. The country internally, whether it is Karachi or the Northwest Frontier or elsewhere with the military courts, is ruled by the military. And that even a president of Afghanistan finds it more useful to call on General Rahil Sharif rather than Nawaz Sharif.
Is that what India should do?
That is the reality of Pakistan.
Is that what India should do?
Why? I would love the Pakistani DGMO to meet his Indian counterpart. We have agreed to that.
If that happens, but clearly the rant of Pakistan's Prime Minister, the Kashmir rant, India responded to it very swiftly, firmly, and said it's Pakistan that remains a state sponsor of terror.
I can just say this: Mr. Narendra Modi is not Mr. President Ashraf Ghani. Certainly, there will be no question of our politicians messing around with the Pakistan army.
Okay.
But the DGMO context has been agreed to. I think the DGMO should meet regularly.
Okay. Let's see where does this road ahead take us. We will continue to track that story very closely. For the moment, Major General Attar Abbas in Islamabad, many thanks for joining us. Also, Ambassador G. Parthasarathy, many thanks for joining us. We will continue to track developments on the India-Pakistan front very closely. A quick break, back with lots more. Keep watching